Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Jasmine. I tried to come on here before, but I lost my signal and I got cut off. But thanks for coming here today. First, I wanted to apologize to everybody. I have been off of Periscope for quite a while. I've been participating in Periscope and watching other people's stuff, but I haven't been on here myself, and everybody's been getting on top of me saying that that I should be on here a little bit more. But my schedule was so crazy. I was working the overnight shifts, and so my days and nights were all mixed up and things like that. And I didn't know if anybody wanted me scoping at 3 a.m. in the morning, but I'm back now, so I'm so excited. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Dr. JasmineZapata. I'm a physician, I'm an author, a public speaker, and a preventive medicine empowerment health coach. My main passion and my main desire is to spread the message of hope, strength, and the power to overcome. I do it through various avenues, through empowerment, education, and actually entrepreneurship. A lot of people say, what does a doctor have to do with anything in the realm of empowerment or business or other things like that? But really, the definition of health, interestingly, according to the World Health Organization, is more than simply the absence of death and disease, but it is actually the complete physical, emotional, and social and financial well-being. So actually it includes a lot more than just physical health. So my goal is to get outside of the clinic walls, where a lot of times it's too late when you discover problems inside of the clinic walls. My mission is to get outside of the clinic walls to actually make a change. I focus a lot on preventive. Hello, Alyssa. Thank you for coming on my first scope back in quite a while. Yes, thank you for inviting your followers. So what I was saying is, what preventive medicine is, it is actually trying to go back in time, kind of like being a time traveler, which is what I am, a time traveler, and going back in time. Instead of meeting the patients in the hospitals or the clinics when things are too late, figuring out what could have been done to prevent this. And again, there's a lot of upstream factors for things that happen, whether it be social issues, whether it be economic issues that led up to someone coming and be sick, whether it be toxic stress, which is huge, whether it be not having a parent in the household, whether it be depression, anxiety, things that occur outside of the clinic. And really, something that's really interesting is that 80%, somebody, at least one person type in 80% so I can know somebody's listening. 80% of health outcomes are due to things that are preventable. 80% of chronic disease. Alyssa, well, it's not too late. One of the things 80% of health outcomes are related to factors that can be prevented in the lifestyle or things that are related to our environment. So, all that to say, just kind of an introduction for myself, for people who don't know me. My goal is to get outside of the clinic walls and into the communities, traveling all over, talking about issues like that, doing community programs, doing talks and lock-ins with young women, telling them that they're beautiful, teaching them about their bodies, working on public health initiatives to prevent poverty, to prevent suicide and depression, to help empower people to reach economic freedom, because that is tied into poor health outcomes as well. So that's kind of a little bit about me. Some people don't really understand all that I do, but that's basically my message. So the reason I wanted to come on here, hey, $1 Million Rose, thank you for joining. The reason that I wanted to come on here today is because I wanted to, number one, apologize for all my followers for being MIA for the last couple months, like the last 2 months. I have an 18 years in the health field. We definitely should stay connected. I love to collaborate and work on different projects and prevent environmental racism. Don't get me started on that environmental racism, because one of the big projects that I focus on is reducing racial disparities and infant mortality. Yes, Alyssa, get rid of your fear and just get on the scope. Oh, Flint, Michigan, yeah. So back to that racism thing, that's just another example of upstream factors that can lead to poor health outcomes. So one quick example, and I plan to scope about this and talk about this. I'm starting writing a book on this, but racial disparities and infant mortality. Infant mortality is a death of a baby before they reach the age of 1. Black babies are at higher risk of dying before the age of 1 compared to their white counterparts. So that, number 1, is a public health crisis. Do you all know, somebody type in what you think the number 1 reason is that black babies are dying before age 1? What's the number 1 reason? When you hear people say infant mortality, I just kind of want to see what you guys think. Sudden infant death syndrome. Do we have any other guesses of what is the number 1 reason? I'm gonna tell you if that answer is right or wrong in a second. Any more guesses? Okay, well, I'm just so excited. I'm gonna just tell you, even though nobody put the next answer. But most people think that it is sudden infant death syndrome, but actually it is not. The number 1 reason that black babies are dying before they reach the age of 1 is not because of co-sleeping. It's not because of sudden infant death syndrome. It is because they are being born premature. Black mothers are not able to carry their babies to term. Usually a full-term pregnancy is 40, greater than 37 to 40 weeks is a full-term pregnancy, 9 months. But many black women are having their babies ahead of time before that. And that's being born premature. Now, there's a lot of complications from prematurity, and a lot of babies are not making it. You had 3 premature. I'm gonna tell you my story in a second. A lot of babies are being born prematurely, and because of side effects from that, depending on how young they're born, their lungs aren't developed. They can get raging infections and die in the hospital or die shortly after as a result of prematurity. But a lot of people don't know that. And yes, thank you, Dennard. Stress. That's the question. What is the thing that is causing these women to have babies ahead of too early? A lot of people think it's economic, like, oh, it's just social economic, black women in lower socioeconomic status, and it's poverty, and that's what's causing it. But interestingly, a white high school dropout female has a lower rate of having a baby premature than an African American college educated woman. Okay, so it's not just poverty. That does play a role, but it's not just that. So some people thought, like, maybe it's just your genetics, maybe it's just something in the African American genes that is causing this. But they did a study with African women, first generation African women that came to the United States, and then African American women who've just been here for a long time, and the rates in African American women are higher. So it's not just something in our genes. So this is a public health crisis that I am shouting off the rooftop about, but a lot of people don't know about. Everybody thinks it's because of SIDS, but there's plenty of babies dying because they don't even get a chance to come home and have SIDS because black women are having babies too early. And what they're looking at is basically stress over a lifetime, or different economic, environmental factors that are playing a role, even from a girl when she's 3-4 years old. The stuff that happens in her life is all affecting it. And the reason that this is so near, we carry a lot. The reason this is so, oh look, there's the helicopter, the med flight helicopter. You see it? Hold on. Isn't that cool? Yay! That's the med flight helicopter. And guys, guess what? I got to ride on that. Before and pick up patients. It was really, really cool. On my Facebook page, you can see pictures of me in the helicopter. Anyway, one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this issue is because my daughter was born prematurely. I was only 25 weeks pregnant. I was due on January 2nd, and I had her on September 20th. So I don't know, any of you women out here that have had babies, or even babies premature, that's terrifying. You're due January 2nd. I had her September 20th. She was 1.5 pounds. She had to be resuscitated back to life. She was on life support, breathing machine. She had a brain bleed. She had brain surgery. She had a hole in her heart that needed repair. She got an infection so bad they had to give her medicine just to keep her blood pressure up. She had all kind of complications and almost died there in the NICU because she was right on the cusp of how little that they can save babies. 23 weeks is about the youngest possible they can even try to save babies. So yes, God is able. She was basically almost a miscarriage. She was right on that border between being a miscarriage or right at the age where they're old enough that it's not a miscarriage, but that they can save them, but they're extremely sick. So that's what my daughter was. And I was wondering, like, what in the world caused this? I felt like I did everything right. I was married. I was educated. I didn't really grow up in poverty, maybe like lower middle class, but I did have different stresses in my life. I did have different things that went on. And then the question is, does environmental racism play a role? So anyway, that's a whole different scope, but I just wanted to point that out. That's why that's one of my biggest passions. But one of the biggest things is going out and bringing awareness to these issues. And the question, again, the big passion of mine is, instead of just waiting till you're in the hospital, because I thought I was going to go into the field of neonatology, being the type of doctor that takes care of those babies. But I've been realizing, like, when you get to that point, it's too late. I don't want to be at the very end where it's too late and you're taking care of these issues. My passion and what I do is get outside, just like I'm outside right now. I'm outside of the hospital. I get outside of the clinic walls and look at upstream factors, going back even into childhood, trying to figure out what we can do as a society to help fix these problems and empower people and things like that. And having the physician background is also really powerful. So I'm kind of like an undercover time traveler physician. And so I'm excited. Somebody asked the question of, do I do seminars and workshops? Yes, that's one of the biggest things that I do. I do seminars talking about different issues. I do health empowerment talks, and then lock-ins or workshops or lock-ins with youth talking about things. I'm pretty flexible. I like to be creative. So anything that hasn't been done before or that's kind of outside the box, I'm willing to talk about. Taboo issues, anything to raise awareness to it and just shine light on it and really empower people for change. So yes, I do workshops. So that's kind of a little bit about who I am. As you can see, I get easily distracted when it's a topic that I'm passionate about. Does it mean white people don't give birth prematurely? Or are they not reported? No, white people do give birth prematurely. But they definitely do. But the rates of prematurity in the African American population are significantly higher than in the white population. So white people do definitely give birth prematurely. Like, for example, you're at higher risk for giving birth prematurely if you have a twin or a multiple gestation pregnancy. And there's some other issues that cause you to have to deliver early. So yes, it's a problem in the white population as well. So I'm passionate about reducing infant mortality and prematurity for everybody. But one of my extra passions is to reduce those racial disparities. So that's one of my passions. So the thing that I just wanted to briefly mention today is poverty. I just really wanted to tell you guys about this so that you guys can share it with others. Poverty is one of the biggest upstream factors that affects health outcomes. There's so much that I can say about this, but I'm going to keep it brief, and you guys could do some research, or I'll do some more scopes as well. But poverty and economic security is one of the biggest things that affects health outcomes. And so that's long been a problem, but a lot of people don't acknowledge that, or there are some things that are going on to help hit this problem. But in the medical community, traditionally, this hasn't been, yes, thank you. Traditionally in the medical fields, we don't really deal with this that much. Everybody in the medical field mainly focuses on the acute issue that's at hand. But one huge thing that just came out, the American Academy of Pediatrics, I'm so happy, they just released a national statement just this week, and it basically is charging all pediatricians to ask about poverty in the family or economic situations at the well child visit. So to some of you guys that might not matter, but I am so excited about that because I know some of you guys, for example, and my kids too. I have two kids, a boy who's 7 today actually, and then my daughter that I talked about, she's 5 years old. So when you go to the well child checks, they usually ask about, do they got an ear infection, runny nose, how are they walking and crawling? But now the pediatricians are charged with asking about poverty in the home, poverty in the home, about food in the home, about the economic situation, and is supposed to, we'll see how the plan works out, be able to start connecting families with resources to help financially. But just to even ask about that question is huge. So I'm really excited about that. So anybody who goes to your pediatrician, make sure they ask you about that or bring that up. Ask them, how is poverty related to health outcomes and things like that? Yes, prevention is everything. So I'm really excited about that. The American Academy of Pediatrics just released that statement. So hopefully this is going to be a big shift, and it's going to be able to help people bring awareness and really tackle this issue from inside of the medical wall. So I'm excited about that because that's what my passion is. So now the National American Academy of Pediatrics is really getting ready to tackle this issue of poverty. The last thing that I wanted to say is one thing that I'm really excited about is one of my ways to get outside of the clinic walls to work on these issues is to help strengthen people to reach economic freedom. So actually I teamed up with a group of entrepreneurs from all over the United States, and one is even from Australia, to write a book called Multiple Streams of Income. I'm so excited about it. So all 12 entrepreneurs are writing about how to get started in their respective fields. So we have all different fields. I'm going to be talking about how I got started in real estate to try to break the chains of poverty in my life and be able to help empower others. So I'm so excited about that. The book launch is going to be in Atlanta. So anybody who lives around the Atlanta area, I'm going to be there on April 9th. You can pre-order the book on my webpage, www.DrJasmineZapata.com. It's in my my description section. So I'm so excited about that. And in it, I talk a little bit about the poverty health connection, and then I talk about how I got started in real estate. But this book is so huge because it's going to be able to help empower people to reach economic freedom, and because it's going to help change their lives, but their kids' lives as well, and generations to come. So this is my first book that I'm participating in, and I wrote a chapter in it, and I'm collaborating. So I'm really, really excited. I hope to write a lot more books in the future, but I hope you guys will support me and spread the word. I'm really excited because, like I said, my goal is to get outside the clinic walls and do things that are unconventional, that are different than other doctors are doing. Or there's a lot of doctors involved in this stuff, but instead of just being in the clinic, I want to get out and help, and not just talk about it, but empower people. So that's why I'm excited about this book as well, because instead of telling a parent like, okay, are you having financial issues? Yes, I am. Here's a resource. I want to actually be part of the solution as well. And so I'm so excited about this book. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to my Periscope. I haven't been on here in a long time, but I really, really appreciate you guys for staying on and listening and participating. Please share this with your followers so that they can watch the replay. You can swipe up or swipe to the right and just share it with any followers that you have, or share the link with somebody that you may know. And also, please follow me on my social media. If you go to www.DrJasmineZapata.com, then you will be able to, there's my picture, and then it has all my social media links. So I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything. So just follow me so you can stay connected. And if you're not already, follow me on Periscope. So I hope you guys have a blessed day. Stay encouraged wherever you're going through. Don't give up. Just stay encouraged and on the right path so that you can reach your destiny and fulfill the purpose that God put you on this earth to do. No matter what hard stuff happens, we got to just keep moving on, because it's not just about us. Our destinies are tied in with so many other people. It's not just about you reaching your goals and achieving your dreams and pushing through. It's about so many others, because you have to reach your goals so that you can help and empower so many other people that are coming behind you that are going to need your help. So don't give up, don't let go, and let's keep moving forward. Thank you guys so much for listening, and have a great day. Bye.